All right, guys, so we're going to get into doing some orders here. We're going to get into siding orders. So there's a couple things that you're going to need before you are able to do a siding order. The most important thing, obviously, is going to be a measurement. Um, whether that would be a hand sketch of the walls with all of the measurements that you need. The easiest way, obviously, is to pull a walls report through EagleView or go to the home and get a hover report. You should be able to go back in a trainual and refresh your memory on the two different reports and what they offer. So the first thing here, this is going to be the EagleView walls report. That's going to give you your total wall area. So when you order a walls only, it is going to deduct all of the openings, so you don't have to guess. So you're going to get an actual square footage of just the walls, the wall facets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Each wall is a facet. And then the square footage of the openings, we have 5 openings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 155 square feet. And so the nuts and bolts of the measurement are down here at the very bottom. For a simple garage like this, probably 12% waste would suffice. So we have 9.8 squares or 978 square feet. Remember, to get squares, you just move that decimal point 1, 2, 9.78 squares. So we're not going to order 9.78, we're just going to order 10. So we're going to go back through here. So we're going to go back to the dashboard, and you're going to look at the job menu, and you want to select orders, new order. Always select ABC Supply Catalog. So when you get done with your order, you're going to have a total amount that is pulled directly from our live pricing. And when you do the labor, all of the pricing is pre-populated. When you get to the end of your order, you should be able to see your total in labor and your total in material. We'll go ahead and hit next. You're going to want a material and labor order. Trade type, we'll go to siding. And McChesney Park, always select McChesney Park. If it's being delivered from another branch, our McChesney Park branch will take care of those logistics, so you don't have to worry about that. We'll go to template. Now you have two different lines. We use mastic, and we use cedar knolls, made by Norandex. And so mastic, the main two that we use are going to be Ovation, which is an 042. This is the thickness. And then you have mastic cardwood, which is an 044. Obviously a little heavier duty siding. Then you also have different color lines too. So just remember, the darker the color, the more expensive it is, and you should be charging an upgrade. If not, it will hurt profitability. So solar defense, definitely. And then your designer colors, definitely want to charge upgrades. And that's going to be in your pricing sheet that you're going to be given. So let's just go ahead and keep it simple. We'll go to classic colors 042. Remember, we talked about the siding. You have different profiles. So D4 straight lap. Oops. Let's go back. So you have a D4, D4.5, and D5. Not every siding line is going to have the same profiles. So, for instance, I believe it's Norandex. They actually have a D5 Dutch lap. Mastic does not. So, when you're selling, if you grab a sample book, let's say for Mastic Ovation, and within that sample book, you are going to have the profile. So they'll show you the profiles that are available. So make sure you're just paying attention to detail there. So let's just pick a D4 color. We're going to go to corn silk. And we have, if you remember, we had 978 square feet. So we can change that unit to 978. So we're going to do 1,000 square feet. Remember, move that decimal point over 2 points. That's 10 squares. You can also do it another way too. So we have 12 pieces per square. So if we pull up our calculator here, so we have 10 squares times 12 pieces, that's 120. So you can do 120 panels, and it's going to be the same amount. Okay. Now, we want to delete the D4.5 and D5 because we don't need that. We're only installing D4. I like doing it this way because when it goes to the supplier, it'll automatically figure the amount of panels, and there's less room for error. But this is still good knowledge to have. So each box will come with 24 pieces. The siding boxes are 2 square a piece. And we're going to go to, let's check the walls report because now we have to order the J channel first. Let's find our color. Let's go to J channel and figure that real fast. So your J channel, remember, is going to go, let's get a good view of the building here. So your J channel is going to go around your openings, right? Right here, right here, and around here. Then your J channel is also going to go at the top of your walls, just like that. All right, so now that we have that information, let's go to down at the bottom, and we have tops of walls, 114 feet. Window and door perimeter, 100 feet. So the perimeter would be around your openings, right? So we'll go plus 100. We could also use, let's use this one right here. So we have eaves right here and rakes. So we have 118 feet. So it's not too far off from tops of walls. It's probably a little bit more because of the overhang, but it doesn't hurt to have more. So let's go to 118 plus 100, right? So 218 divided by their 12 feet. The J channel is 12 feet. So that would be 18.16 pieces of J channel. I would say just to be safe, let's order 22 pieces. Remember, you can return siding by the piece. So if you have one piece of J channel, you can return it to ABC. If you have one piece of siding, you can return it to ABC. So don't be afraid to over order. The worst thing that can happen during a siding job is you having to run for 15 pieces of J channel, a box of siding. It gets really cumbersome. The crews get angry, and then the production manager gets angry because the job finishes late because maybe you weren't around to pick it up. So just make sure that you pay attention to detail. Over order by a little bit. If you think you need 20, order 22. It's not going to be a big deal. So finish trim. Let's find our color. Corn silk. So finish trim. We're going to show you in-house what it actually looks like, right? But the finish trim, so this is the side of the wall. Imagine when you're installing the siding up the wall, once you get up to here, we may have to rip a piece so that snap lock piece is getting cut off. So what happens is you get a piece of finish trim and it's installed. So you nail your J channel, nail the finish trim inside the J channel, and then when you rip that last piece of siding, they have a punch tool that creates tabs on that cut piece of siding, and it snaps up into the utility trim. That's what locks that top piece of siding in. We also want to install the finish trim along the sills of the windows, because if we have to cut a piece and we don't use that sill trim, that siding is going to rattle inside the J channel, and you can hear it inside the house. So it'll also make it bow. And so we always want to use finish trim along all, just remember this, finish trim along all horizontal terminations. So this is a horizontal termination. This is another horizontal termination. Same with this side here. This is a horizontal termination. The only place we wouldn't use it is on the tops of doors and the tops of openings. This is going to be only on the bottom piece. So we wouldn't use it here and we would not use it here. Okay, so let's go to tops of walls, 114. And then we want to find, so we have 2 feet there, another 2 feet, so 4 feet. So there's only 2 windows, so 4 feet plus 114 feet divided by 12 feet a stick. So that's 10 pieces. So we're going to round up to 10, add 2. Let's get 12 pieces. And I know we're not going to have to run for it. So you can see here, your siding pricing is populating. These are the this is the amount that we get charged by ABC. So there's no guessing here. Outside corner posts, those are easy. Let's go to back down here. Outside corners, we have 34 feet. These are 10 feet per stick. So we have 34 divided by 10. So that'd be 3.4. The wall height, I believe, is only 8 feet. So there's not going to be any waste. Yep. So you can see here, 8 feet. So there's going to be a 2 foot cutoff. So perfect. All we have to do is order 4 pieces. We don't need anything for waste. Inside corners. This is a solid rectangle. So there are going to be no inside corners here. As you can see, they're all outside, 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 outside. So all you got to do, delete it. Now, we have house wrap, so 9 feet tall by 100 feet long times 100. So that's 900 square feet that is given us. What's our wall saying? So 873, perfect. 1 roll. Seam tape, 1 roll per roll. So a ratio of 1 to 1. Typically, let's for the sake of this exercise, on a garage, we wouldn't typically tape the windows, but let's just act like this is a house, right? So we're going to go down to window and door perimeter. So 100 feet. So this would go around the perimeter of all openings. So each one of these, you can see here, each roll is 75 feet. So we would need 2 rolls of flashing tape. The flashing tape is going to go on. You're going to put the house wrap on, and then you're going to put the flashing tape over that to seal everything. So when the water runs down the wall, if it gets behind the siding, it's going to hit the vapor barrier, which is the house wrap. It's going to roll over the top of the tape, and then it will go down and drain through the weep holes in the bottom of the siding. So we're going to open the photos here real fast. Oh, this is a test, so we don't have any pictures. But what you would do is, so for these, let's go back to orders. So for your mount master, that's your light block that we covered in training. This is going to be the block that goes with, if you have an exterior light, a floodlight, a ring camera, anything where we can mount a light on. You're going to want to pick that. Now, you may not be able to find the exact color, but let's search it. So yeah, so see, there's no corn silk. So what I do, and this is super easy, you can do this 1 or 2 ways. Just hit color code and then put corn silk color match. Simple. Let's pretend there's 2 lights on the front. The Mount Master Jumbo, this is going to be for oversized exterior lights. If you don't need it, delete it. A mini split block, that's going to go around any exterior outlets. Silcox, where you have a hose bib coming out. And what happens is, if there's a pipe coming out of the wall, the split block splits in half. You put it around the pipe, snap it back together, nail it to the wall, and then there's a cover piece that goes over the top of it. Dryer hood, that's for any venting from forced air vents. So let's say a range hood that's going outside of the house, or like it says here, a dryer, a washer and dryer. So again, I don't think, yeah, here we go. So here's corn silk, we have it there. So let's just select one. So the vent hood, so the dryer vent is a solid piece, and this intake exhaust, this is just a louvered. It's just two different styles. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to go with the dryer vent cover. It all does the same. And then you have gable vents if you need it. Just make sure when you are ordering gable vents that you have the correct size of the opening in this correct shape. And then we have sealant. Just pick color code. And then for this size of the job, let's go with 6 tubes of caulk. And it says right here, siding color match. So whoever's picking the order in the yard will see, okay, I mean, so let's grab some tubes of caulk that's going to match this corn silk. So you can see here I have 1 box for every 15 squares, 1 box of siding nails. Fan fold. This is just a 3/8. Basically, it's used as a cover board. So let's say if we're going over wood siding and we want a nice smooth plane, we would put this over the top of it. Sometimes customers like extra insulation, so you could sell it as an upgrade. Each bundle is 2 squares or 200 square feet. Well, we're not going to use it here. And then this is for later. This is going to be soffit, fascia, trim coil for doing window wraps or custom fascia or custom trims, and then your trim nail. So an easy way to do this, instead of clicking on all of these delete buttons, just go down here, remove unused items. Now you have the entirety of your order. And so hit next. And here's your labor. So you can see everything is pre-populated for the pricing. So 10 square of siding. We're going to go 9 squares because this is with waste, remember. And then the Tyvek is 9 squares. Same with this. If you're not using it, delete it. Not using, deleting. So get rid of all this stuff. And then once you have that, you're going to select delivery. And then this is where you're going to put in your delivery details. This is very important for the ABC driver and the production manager. So you're going to select remodel, and let's just say drop at top left hand side of driveway. Maybe do not put on grass. Any special instructions that maybe the customer gives you, you're going to want to note here. That way they don't put it in the wrong spot. Now, after you get there, you are not selecting a delivery date. You are going to just simply hit save, and we're going to hit save as draft. The reason being, if you are in the job submission process and you hit save as approved, you cannot go back into your order and fix it without us rejecting it, and then you can go back. But if you hit save as draft, you can go back into that order anytime you want, make your edits before your job is approved. So we're going to save as a draft, and let's go to review. So look at that. Your siding, all your pricing. So $1,600. So approximately $163 a square. And then you've got your labor. So your total for material and labor is $3,021.74. Production is going to be checking these numbers. So when you go to your balance sheet and you have all your numbers here, let's say if there was a siding line item, you're going to go back to we're going to go back here and say, okay, profitability is good. we don't have enough profit. Now we're going to double check and see. And this should have been done before it got to production, but that's why we have a series of checks and balances. It goes to the sales manager for approval and to check all your orders and profitability. And then production will also be doing the same thing. So that's it. That's the siding order in general. Obviously, it can get more complex, but that is the baseline of how to do a siding order. Thank you, guys.